I was born in Yekaterinburg, which we used
Where is that?
in central Russia, and I attended a kids' art school when I was 3 years old.
That's great.
Yeah, and then I moved to Australia, finished school there, and went to do an arts degree. Did an arts degree there 4 years, so I did 3 years. It's like a 3-year degree, and then you can do honors another year.
Where in Australia?
In Melbourne.
And you did that with the exchange thing with the university? How was that? How do you do that? To go from Russia to Melbourne?
No, we immigrated. My mother went to work in Melbourne when I was 13. So I moved there and I stayed there for 18, 19 years. And after that I did some multimedia studies. I finished a course in film and television, interactive media, multimedia, and worked as a designer for a while. And then I decided to come and live here and also come back to doing more art things. And first performance I did when I was doing my 4th year of my arts degree. Since then, it's a long
You've been
time
doing
ago.
performance art since?
Yeah, I did one then, and then I had a long period where I was not doing a lot of art. I was mostly working, and then came back to doing mostly.
How do you construct your performances? Where do you find the idea, the themes?
The performances, at the moment, the main point is that they don't have a lot of sense. They don't make a lot of sense. They're very chaotic. So they're based on a lot of things like Dada or Dada mixed with some surrealism, and also what a lot of modern groups do, like there's this group Akhe Theater from Russia. They do this big performance called Chaos, and it's much bigger than what we do, but it's very chaotic with people outside running around and pulling the flag up, and these pieces of technological things like ships and things like that. So it's kind of in that genre, and it doesn't necessarily carries a lot of meaning. It's kind of anti-social in the way that it's a kind of a protest of how things work in society. So it's trying to either make fun of known sort of phenomena, or just be chaotic and senseless, just and expressive, because it's we think that art is about expression, and it's not because at the moment there's a big movement, like conceptual movement. I think all art is split up into conceptual and not conceptual. Yeah, probably in the not conceptual kind of genre, because we don't really have a concept. It's very vague and very more about expression, just pure. I want to do this. Like one of our members said to me, I always wanted to throw pelmeni on stage. Just wanted to throw pelmeni into people. Pelmeni are a little tight Russian with a little, what do you call them, pastries with meat inside. So I just
wanted to throw pastries.
Yeah, and that's great, because this is probably a lot of things that we really always wanted to do but never did. So it's kind of about that as well.
How many are you? Because you're a troupe that performs? This is called Aleph Project.
Aleph Project.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is 4 of us originally, and well, there's really me, Alan, and Andrei Bitter, and we share an atelier here. And there's also Atya, who is doing the sculptures, these kind of moving machines for the performance. It's kind of like installation within the art project. and we also have musicians, and musicians are always guests, and guests. We just invite people for every performance. We invite different people, and it's always a little bit different, and the costumes are always different. So we don't really follow a particular.
There's a
we
part
don't
of
repeat it.
improvisation.
Yeah, a lot of it is improvisation. We only prepare how certain things, like speak about the outline, what's going to be in, who's going to be in, and then we just improvise. We prepare something to print. The moment we included this, like the printing
That's
our
really
own
cool.
money, and we just I shoot from a rifle, and they kind of fall down from this box, and sometimes like next time I think I'm just throwing them around or something like that. So it's a bit different every time, but we kind of.
You can give some to...
They're a bit dirty because I just printed new ones, but
No, but just to show around if, if you want to show. Or you want to get on.
oh,
Okay. You want to do it? You can show. Yeah. No, she's playing shy.
okay.
Just so you have a look. Yeah, it's really great.
But also I like the fact that they get dirty because it's
Like money.
like
real
mine.
Yeah. And you put, yeah, the thing is that you've actually scanned real or pictures of real money, and then you put your portraits in them. If you look, all the artists from the troupe are on the notes. If you look at the notes, there's one with you, there's one with Andre, there's one with Alan. It's funny. It's really funny.
We try to put everyone to take part into
In the project. How many are you then? I mean, the fixed thing you said you like 4.
Yeah, 4. Then we have one girl who is a big part of the project, but she is not there a lot. She plays violin, and another 2 people are semi-permanent, and then the rest are always. And then we always invite some few more people, depending on the space and how
Yeah,
much
of course.
space there is, and all these kind of things. And last time it was a bit crazy because some people just came and said, "You really want to just take part," and they haven't even.
That was, when was this? This was the House of
In
Dreams?
Yeah.
It was really great. It was good fun.
Yeah,
Lots
some
of people
did.
liked it, and I think the machine is really beautiful. This machine that opens, and I put the link on the blog and on the Facebook. I think it looks really good. If you can have a look, maybe sometime. There's this machine that opens, and it has a light system, and it makes this sound. You really think that the sound comes from the machine, but in fact, there is a laptop behind. But I really thought that it was the machine that was making the noise. It was really great.
The machine actually does make a sound. It's a it's a Leslie. It's what's called the Leslie. So it's a wow wow effect, and
Yeah.
it's an old, an actual old
Wow, wow.
wow wow, kind of like an electric pedal, but it's an old proper wow wow thing.
Oh yeah, wow.
So what happens is that the sound comes from the laptop, but then it applies the effect to it. So the machine
right.
makes it go whoa 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 whoa. So this comes from.
It does come
machine.
from the machine then.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And that's Andre who builds the machine.
Yeah, he builds different machines and.
He finds them. They already existed, so he finds how to build them, or he builds things that he imagines himself.
Yeah, usually we discuss what we want to have in the project, and then he mostly comes up with the ideas and builds them. And a lot of he uses a lot of found objects and just really cheap wood and things like that. So they're not really meant to look very beautiful, but I think they're quite nice. So and he likes doing a lot of things that you can see how they made. So it's not an object where you have wires that are hidden. Everything is outside. So check on that. Sorry, I lost it. Yeah. Yeah, this is a catalog for exhibition that we have now, and like our project is in it, and so I can read about it.
Oh yeah, this was the opening was last Friday.
Yep. Yeah.
That's nice.
We have a finissage on this Sunday.
That's cool. I was wondering which one Alan finally chose.
Oh, for that.
Yeah.
For that.
Oh, there's a picture from the performance. You can have a look. I give you this.
Yeah, and there is a little text about the performance on the last page. Yeah. So and yeah, we have this weekend we have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we have performances.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
One is at Saldina for the same festival. One is on Saturday, also in Wedding in Oslo Strasse. There's a poetry festival. We're doing one for that.
Oh yeah, Gabby's in this poetry festival. You know,
Yeah, so,
she was also in the House of Dreams.
yeah, and then we're doing one for the finissage. But we're probably doing it with in a very strange setting with a rock band. So it's going to be very different for the finissage. So we're just kind of part of the project with the rock band, which I don't know how it's going to go.
It's a bit different, the sound, huh? Changes things.
Yeah, it's going to be very different. But yeah, I don't know what else to say.
How do you choose the music? Because for you, it's important that you like a little bit of classical, experimental.
Okay, the music part is actually good that you asked me because the idea comes from Kuryokin, the cacophonic music. So the idea is that every musician plays something that they want to play, but they not necessarily it doesn't not necessarily match with what someone else plays. So they're not trying to play.
They're not listening to each other.
They're not really listening to each other, and if they listen, they're not trying to play one thing. They sort of play the different things, and sometimes it can be one is playing classical music and one is playing rock and roll, and the other one is playing drum and bass or something like that, or African beats. And it's a totally different approach to normal music. So it's, but sometimes you can hear very interesting combinations from that. You just by combining things that are not usually
unexpected.
Don't usually go together. Sometimes it actually becomes a certain music that you can hear, and it's not that awful as you think. But we try to make it awful anyway because we also sort of run around and bang things.
Yeah, you like it to be a little bit chaotic.
Scratch things.
And who takes care of how the costumes? How do you build up that type of work? You make costumes yourself? You collaborate with someone?
At the moment, we're just making costumes ourselves. I ask people what they would like to wear, and also it's like we're discussing together what will look good, what won't look good. And every time it's a new process because we try to change it every time. We try to change costumes every time. But because mostly we have characters that are sort of specific, like my character, for example, I know that what I mostly do is I sort of dress a little bit like half bimbo, half kind of like erotic, but art erotic. So it's and also so my costumes are always like this. So they're different, but they always
around the same character.
Around the same character, and the same goes for everybody else. We have one guest who she always plays kind of like a childlike kind of a troll, and she sometimes has long stocking or something like that, or ponytails, but it's always comish kind of look. So.